Welcome to the Sleep Library channel where stories come to life. We bring you enchanting tales from around the world, classic fairy tales, original stories, and timeless fables that spark imagination and wonder. Whether you're here for bedtime stories or just to enjoy a good tale, you're in the right place. So make yourself comfortable, hit that subscribe button, and let's begin our storytelling adventure together. And that's our story for today. Let us know in the comments what stories you'd like to hear next. Don't forget to like and share with fellow story lovers. And we'll see you in the next chapter of yours channel, The Sleep Library.
Once upon a time in a distant kingdom, there was a king named Robert, King Robert. He had 3 sons. The eldest was named Kenan, the middle one Rash, and the youngest was named Rockin. King Robert was widely renowned in his time, known even in neighboring kingdoms. His reputation preceded him, and all the kings and leaders of nearby countries knew of King Robert. In addition to his power and governance, he had a peculiar hobby. He loved collecting strange and wondrous things. Among his collection of oddities was a tree in his garden, an apple tree. But this was no ordinary tree, for it bore apples made of gold. This tree, in particular, held great significance for King Robert. One day, the palace was in an uproar over a shocking discovery. King Robert was furious and shouting at the top of his lungs. When asked what had happened, he exclaimed, "My golden apple tree has been robbed. One of its golden apples has been stolen." He immediately summoned his ministers, courtiers, and palace guards, demanding to know how this theft could have happened. Yet none of them had seen anything. The ministers, courtiers, and guards all bowed their heads in shame, for they had no idea how the apple had been stolen. The king then declared, "From this day forward, this tree will be guarded by 2 sentinels, one to watch over by day and another by night." The next day, after the incident, King Robert went to the garden to check on his tree, only to find that yet another golden apple had been stolen, in addition to the one taken the previous night. Enraged, he rushed to the guards, dismissed them, and appointed new ones. On the 3rd day, he returned to the garden and discovered, once again, that another golden apple had been stolen. At this point, King Robert flew into an uncontrollable rage. Upon returning to the palace, he called an urgent meeting with his sons and said, "This is unbelievable. Despite all the guard, ministers, and courtiers in the palace, no one knows who is stealing the apples from my tree. That is why I am entrusting this task to you, my sons. The first of you shall begin the watch." The eldest son, Prince Kenan, said to his father, "Rest assured, today I will find out who is stealing our apples." As night fell, Prince Kenan went to guard the tree. He paced around the garden, stopping now and then to inspect the tree, looking left and right, behind and in front. He kept this up until midnight, but then drowsiness began to overtake him. His eyes grew heavy, and despite his efforts to fight it, sleep eventually conquered him. When morning came, King Robert stood over him, furious. "What's this? Yet another golden apple has been stolen." The next night, the middle son, Prince Rash, took up the watch. Like his brother, he patrolled the garden, checking the tree from every angle, left and right, above and below, front and back. But as midnight approached, he too succumbed to exhaustion, drifting in and out of sleep until he finally fell into a deep slumber. At dawn, King Robert loomed over him, enraged. "Again, another apple is gone." Now, King Robert was beside himself with anger. He stormed back to the palace, deep in thought, unsure what to do next. Then his youngest son, Prince Rockin, approached him. "Father, why not let me guard the tree? Maybe I can catch the thief." King Robert, still fuming, scoffed, "Your older brothers couldn't do it. What makes you think you can?" But Rockin insisted, "Just let me try. Who knows? Maybe I'll succeed where they couldn't. Though doubtful, the king finally relented. Fine, go ahead and see what you can do. Despite his young age, Prince Rakan possessed qualities his brothers lacked: sharp wit and courage. As he prepared for his watch, he thought to himself, I have two enemies tonight. The first is the thief stealing the golden apples. The second is sleep itself. I must find a way to stay awake. When darkness fell, Rakan took a flask of strong coffee and stationed himself near the tree. He remained vigilant, refusing to leave its side. As midnight approached, drowsiness crept in, but each time he felt himself fading. He splashed water on his face or took a sip of coffee. This way, he managed to stay awake far longer than his brothers had. Then, just as night began to fade into dawn, Rakan spotted something approaching, a flickering light glowing like a flame. The closer it came, the brighter it shone, until finally, it landed atop the golden apple tree. To his astonishment, it was none other than the legendary Firebird, a mythical creature known in those times for its dazzling brilliance. It was rare for any human to lay eyes on the Firebird, so when Rakan confirmed its presence, he watched in stunned silence, wondering what it would do. As soon as the bird perched on the tree, it snatched one of the golden apples and tried to flee. But just as it spread its wings to take off, Rakan lunged forward, startling the creature. The Firebird slipped from his grasp and escaped, but not before leaving behind a single, shimmering feather in Rakan's hand. When morning came, before the king could even approach him, Rakan went to his father and said, I know what happened last night. He then recounted everything and presented the feather as proof. King Robert took the feather, turning it over in his hands. It was unmistakable, a golden plume from the legendary Firebird itself. At that moment, the golden apple tree was forgotten. The king's mind was now consumed by a new obsession: capturing the Firebird. He summoned his 3 sons and declared, I want you to bring me this bird, no matter what it takes. Whoever succeeds will share my kingdom. The 2 elder princes, Keenan and Rash, readily agreed. We swear to search for this bird wherever it may hide and bring it to you, they vowed. But the youngest, Prince Rakan, stepped forward. Father, I want to join the hunt as well. The king frowned. No, my son, you're too young for such a dangerous quest. Rakan stood firm. Wasn't I the one who discovered the Firebird? Wasn't I the one who brought you its feather? If I could do that, I can find the bird itself. But I fear for your safety, the king argued. This journey will take you deep into the wild forest where beasts and monsters roam. You're still just a boy. You wouldn't stand a chance. Yet Rakan persisted, pleading until the king finally relented. Very well, you may go with your brothers. King Robert equipped his sons with everything they would need for the journey, and soon the 3 princes mounted their horses and rode off in search of the Firebird. And so their true adventure began. When they reached a crossroads in the heart of the forest, they paused. The eldest, Keenan, spoke first. We should split up. Each of us will take a different path. Rash, the middle brother, hesitated. I'd rather stay with you, brother. Wherever you go, I'll follow. But Rakan, the brave and clever youngest prince, simply said, I have no problem with that. You two may take one path, and I'll take the other. And so Keenan and Rash set off together, while Rakan ventured forth alone. As he journeyed deeper into the forest, he came upon a sign. It read, He who goes right shall die. He who goes left shall be lost. He who goes straight walks the path of the brave. Without hesitation, Rakan urged his horse forward, straight ahead into the unknown. Prince Rakan chose the path of the brave and ventured forward. Midway, a fearsome giant wolf emerged, blocking his way. The young prince stood his ground, unwavering, though his horse bolted in terror. To Rockin's surprise, the wolf did not attack. Instead, it studied him intently. The prince gripped his sword, ready to defend himself. But the wolf suddenly spoke. "Sheathe your weapon. I mean you no harm." Rockin hesitated. "How can I trust you?" The wolf replied, "Before you reach me, did you see the sign?" "Yes," said Rockin. "It warned, 'He who goes right shall die. He who goes left shall be lost. He who goes straight walks the path of the brave.'" "And you chose bravery," said the wolf. "That is why I will not hurt you." "Then why block my way?" asked Rockin. "I stand here to test those who pass," the wolf explained. "If they seek my aid, I help them. So tell me, what brings you here?" Rockin shared his quest for Firebird. The wolf's eyes gleamed with recognition. "I know where the Firebird dwells," it said. "It is kept in the kingdom of King Allison. If you wish, I can take you there." Without hesitation, Rockin mounted the wolf, which raced like lightning across the land. In no time, they arrived at the gates of King Allison's kingdom, guarded by stern sentinels. "The Firebird is inside the palace," whispered the wolf. "Sneak in from the rear, scale the wall, and beware the guards." Rockin obeyed. He scaled the palace walls unnoticed and, from a distance, spotted the Firebird's golden cage. But as he crept closer, the guards seized him. Dragged before King Allison, the monarch studied Rockin's noble bearing. "You are no thief," said the king. "Who are you, and why do you seek the Firebird?" "I am Prince Rockin, son of King Robert," he declared. "My father's name is known far and wide." King Allison's expression shifted. "Ah, King Robert's reputation precedes him. But tell me, why should I spare you?" King Allison narrowed his eyes. "And yet today you come to steal this bird?" Rockin met his gaze. "My father sent me to find the Firebird. When I learned it was here in your palace, I came to take it." The king sighed. "Had you come to me openly and asked, I might have given it to you without all this trouble. But now, by law, I must bring you before the people of my kingdom and declare you a thief. How do you think your father, King Robert, would feel about that?" Rockin's heart sank. "What must I do to settle this?" King Allison leaned forward. "There is a way. In the neighboring kingdom of King Majub, there is a golden horse with a mane of pure gold. Bring me that horse, and I will not only release you, I will give you the Firebird freely." Though wary, Rockin agreed. "I accept your terms." Once dismissed, he hurried back to the wolf and recounted everything. The wolf's ears twitched. "I warned you about the guards, but no matter. I will take you to King Majub's palace." They raced across the land until they reached the towering walls of Majub's fortress. "Scale the wall," the wolf instructed. "The stables are to the left. The golden horse is there. But remember, do not touch its bridle or you'll be caught." Rockin slipped inside, marveling at the golden horse's radiance. But in his awe, he forgot the wolf's warning. The moment he seized the horse's bridle, alarms rang out. Guards swarmed the stables, dragging him before King Runjaub. The king studied Rockin's noble attire. "You are no common thief. Who are you, and why do you steal my golden horse?" Rockin bowed his head, unwilling to reveal his true mission. I heard tales of your golden horse, and wished to see it for myself." King Runjaub's expression darkened. "Lies will not save you, but I, too, offer a bargain. In the kingdom of Queen Zalika, there's a princess with hair woven of sunlight. Bring her to me, and I will spare you, and grant you the golden horse." Trapped again, Rockin had no choice but to agree. King Runjaub frowned at Prince Rockin. "Had you simply told my guards you were King Robert's son, they would have brought you to me properly. I would have given you the golden horse freely. But now, by law, I must parade you before my people as a thief." He leaned closer, lowering his voice. "However, If you want to settle this quietly, I have a task for you. Rawkin straightened. Name your terms. In the neighboring kingdom of King Arm, said Rainjub, there lives a princess of extraordinary beauty, Princess Zumurrota. Bring her to me, and the golden horse is yours. Bound by necessity, Rawkin agreed. He returned to the wolf, who flicked his ears in disapproval. I warned you not to touch the bridle, but no matter. To King Darm's kingdom we go. The princess's rescue. At Arm's palace, the wolf devised a bold plan. Wait here. I'll retrieve the princess myself. With silent pause, the wolf slipped into the palace gardens where Princess Zumurrota walked with her handmaidens. In a flash of fur, he seized the princess, leaping away before the screaming maids could react. Arrows whistled past as the wolf, swift as the north wind, vanished into the forest with his precious cargo. When he returned to Rawkin, something remarkable happened. The prince and princess locked eyes, and in that instant, love blossomed between them. I can't deliver her to Runjald, Rawkin confessed the wolf, his voice thick with emotion. My heart won't allow it. Zumurrota, her cheeks flushed like dawn, nodded fiercely. And I refuse to be bargaining chip for that tyrant Arm. My heart has chosen its prince. The wolf's golden eyes gleamed with approval. Then we shall outweep them all. With a shimmer of magic, he transformed into Zumurrota's perfect double. I'll go to Arm in your stead. You too must flee now. Rawkin and the princess, the wolf in disguise, approached King Arm's court. Behold, Rawkin announced, the bride you demanded. Overjoyed, Arm immediately handed over the golden horse. May fortune favor you, prince. No sooner had Rawkin ridden away than the wolf's illusion dissolved, leaving Arm gaping at empty air where his prize had stood. Reunited with the real Zumurrota, Rawkin hesitated. I can't in good conscience trade your freedom for the horse. There must be another way. The wolf bared his teeth in what might have been a smile. Trust me, young prince, the game isn't over yet. The wolf raced back to where he'd left Prince Rawkin, only to find the prince and Princess Zumurrota locked in a gaze so intense it seemed time itself had stopped. In that moment, something extraordinary passed between them, a spark of love so immediate and pure that even the magical wolf paused in wonder. Get on, the wolf finally growled, breaking the spell. He carried them both toward King Arm's castle, his powerful legs devouring the distance. When they arrived, Rawkin and Zumurrota couldn't tear their eyes from each other, standing transfixed in the castle courtyard. The wolf cleared his throat. Well, what's happening here? Rawkin turned, his voice firm. I'll be honest with you, my friend. I can't give Princess Zumurrota to King Arm. I've loved her from the moment I saw her. And I, declared Zumurrota, lifting her chin, have chosen Prince Rawkin. I'll never marry that tyrant Arm. The wolf's golden eyes gleamed with amusement. I see how it is. Very well. Since I've helped you this far, I'll see this through. With a flick of his magic, he explained his plan. I can take any form. I'll become Zumurrota's double, and you'll present me to Arm to claim your reward. Rawkin entered Arm's throne room with the wolf, disguised as Zumurrota by his side. Here's the princess you demanded, Rawkin announced. Overjoyed, King Darm immediately brought out the golden maned horse. Take it with my blessing, he cried, already calling for wedding preparations. Let all know, on the seventh day, I shall wed Princess Zumurrota. Meanwhile, the real Zumurrota waited outside the city walls. When Rawkin returned with the golden horse, they mounted quickly, but the prince hesitated. Wait, what of our wolf friend? As if summoned by his thoughts, the illusion in the castle dissolved. The court gasped as the beautiful princess transformed into a giant wolf before their eyes. With a howling laugh, the wolf bounded to the panicked crowd and vanished into the forest. soon rejoining Rakan and Zumurrota. "Now to King Runjao," the wolf said. But Rakan frowned. "This golden horse, it's too magnificent to give away. Couldn't you?" The wolf grinned, understanding. "Transform into its double?" "Of course." At Runjaub's castle, Rakan presented the golden horse, actually the wolf in disguise. The delighted king immediately handed over the Firebird in its golden cage. King Runjaub's face lit up with joy as he handed over the Firebird in its golden cage to Prince Rakan. The prince stepped out of the palace gates, the precious bird in hand, while the wolf, still disguised as a golden maned horse, remained inside with the unsuspecting king. Runjaub, overjoyed with his new prize, immediately summoned his ministers. "Prepare my hunting gear," he commanded. "I shall ride this magnificent steed to test its prowess." As servants scrambled to fetch the royal hunting equipment, the king mounted the horse, unaware of the magic about to unfold. Meanwhile, Prince Rakan and Princess Zumurrota had barely traveled beyond the castle gates when the prince thought fondly of his shape-shifting friend. At that very moment, back in the palace courtyard, the illusion shattered. Before the stunned courtiers, guards, and the king himself, the golden horse transformed back into the great wolf. Chaos erupted. The wolf gave a mighty howl, scattering the terrified crowd as he bounded to the open palace gates. Like the wind itself, he raced through the forest until he reached Rakan and Zumurrota, who rejoiced at his safe return. After catching his breath, the wolf's golden eyes grew solemn. "My friends, the time has come for us to part ways. You have what you sought, the Firebird, the golden horse, and true love. My task with you is complete." Prince Rakan's heart ached. "No treasure compares to your friendship," he said, voice thick with emotion. "Neither the Firebird's gold nor this magnificent steed means more than you do." The wolf nuzzled him gently. "Don't say goodbye forever. Should you ever need me, think of me, and perhaps our paths will cross again." With those words, he melted into the forest shadows, leaving only a whisper of wind behind. A bittersweet reunion. Mounting the golden horse, Rakan and Zumurrota continued their journey home with the Firebird's cage gleaming in the sunlight. When they stopped to rest at the very spot where Rakan had parted ways with his brothers, exhaustion overcame them, and they fell into a deep slumber. It was there that Princes Keenan and Rash found them, their younger brother peacefully asleep beside a golden maned horse, the legendary Firebird, and a breathtaking princess. The elder prince's faces darkened with envy. "How?" Keenan spat. "Our baby brother, lacking all experience, returns with treasures we couldn't obtain?" Rash's hands clenched into fists. Not just a Firebird, a golden horse, and a princess to present to father. As the shadows lengthened around the sleeping Rakan, the brothers exchanged a glance filled with bitter resentment and something far more dangerous. Prince Conan, the eldest brother, drew a sword and plunged into Prince Rakan's chest. Princess Zumurrota screamed, but Keenan silenced her with a vicious glare. "Stay quiet or you'll meet the same fate." They seized the princess, forced her onto the golden horse, and took the Firebird with them as they rode toward their father's palace. Along the way, they conspired. "When we reach father, we'll claim we found a Firebird. We won the golden horse, and we rescued the princess. I will marry her," Conan declared, "and we'll split the kingdom between us." Upon arrival, King Robert welcomed them eagerly. Conan presented the Firebird with false pride. "Father, this treasure is yours, but the golden horse and Princess Zumurrota shall be mine. My brother Nazar will take half your kingdom." And so, Conan took the horse and the princess. Ratch claimed his share of power, and wedding preparations began. While Rakan lay forgotten, bleeding in the forest, the wolf returned. Far away, the wolf suddenly stiffened. A pang of dread struck his heart. Rakan needed him. He raced back, following Rockin's trail until he found the prince near death, his body drenched in blood. At first glance, the wolf feared the worst, but then a faint breath. Alive, desperate, the wolf howled for aid. A raven perched on a nearby branch answered his call. In their shared tongue, the wolf begged, "Fly to the mountains. Bring me the healing herbs, the blue thistle, the moonroot, and the starleaf." The raven obeyed. Within moments, it returned with the plants. The wolf chewed them into a poultice and pressed it to Rockin's wound. Miraculously, the flesh knit itself together. Rockin awoke with a gasp, disoriented. What happened? Where's Zumurrud? The firebird? The horse? No time, the wolf say. Climb on. The race to justice. With Rockin clinging to his back, the wolf sprinted like lightning toward the palace. They arrived to a scene of celebration, music, laughter, and colorful banners fluttering in the breeze. Rockin, still groggy, squinted at the festivities. What is this? The wolf's hackles rose. Your brothers did this. They stabbed you, stole your prizes, and now one plans to wed your princess. That feast? It's your betrayal made spectacle. Rockin's hands trembled, not from weakness, but from a fury that burned hotter than the firebird's glow. Despite all his efforts to obtain the firebird, despite the wind carrying his hopes, and despite the princess he loved and wished to marry being taken by one of his own brothers, Rockin left the wolf behind and ran to his father, King Robert. When he arrived, the king greeted him. "Welcome, my son." "Thank you, father," Rockin replied, then immediately asked, "What's happening? Why is everyone gathered here celebrating?" The king explained, "My son, your brothers have found the firebird. They brought back a golden-maned horse and a princess named Zumurrud. I've kept the firebird. Your brother will take the golden horse and marry the princess, and your middle brother will inherit half my kingdom, as I promised." Rockin's voice trembled with emotion. "Father, it was I who found the firebird, I who discovered the golden-maned horse, I who rescued Princess Zumurrud and brought her here. On our way back, my brothers found me sleeping, stabbed me with a sword, stole the firebird, took the golden horse and the princess, and lied to you." King Robert looked skeptical. "What you're saying seems impossible." "If you don't believe me," Rockin pleaded, "call the princess and hear what she says." When Prince Conan and Prince Rat saw Rockin, their faces drained of color. But Princess Zumurrud, the moment she saw Rockin, ran to embrace him. "He speaks the truth," she declared to the king. "Prince Rockin is indeed the one who found the firebird, who obtained the golden horse, and who rescued me, all with the help of the wolf we met in the forest." The king's eyes widened in recognition. "You're right. I know of this wolf from forest legends. They call him the wolf who walks with men." As they spoke, the celebration suddenly fell silent. The two treacherous princes and all the guests turned in shock. The wolf himself had appeared. He approached Rockin and stood by his side. King Robert recoiled slightly, but the wolf spoke calmly. "Fear nothing. I come only to tell the truth. Everything your son Rockin has said is true. I witnessed it all, for I was the one who helped him achieve these things." King Robert immediately halted the celebration and annulled the wedding. "Everyone disperse," he commanded. He then imprisoned his two eldest sons to await judgment, while Prince Rockin was given Princess Zumurrud's hand in marriage, the golden horse, and half the kingdom. As for the wolf, from time to time, he would still meet with Prince Rockin in the forest, their friendship enduring beyond all trials.